Hello, everybody, and welcome back into the Dota 2 Canada Cup Season 6 playoffs. We are here with a winners bracket final, and a big one at that. It's compLexity Gaming going up against Elite Wolves here in the third to last round of this entire tournament. This best of three series will determine who makes it to the grand finals and who goes down to the losers bracket finals. Whoever wins this series is guaranteed 12,000 in prize money. Of course, that is because the gracious community has provided us with $20,000 in prize money, as we already started out with $20,000 as well. So big shout outs to you guys. But here we are. We're into the draft here in game number one between these two squads. My name is Mont. Joining me today, of course, is Pip Muckle, Lurker Derp on stats, and finally Purge. Who do you think is going to take this series when it's all said and done, Purge?
I think it's pretty safe to say that compLexity Gaming is the more favorite of the two teams. Elite Wolves is definitely a team that's very solid, but despite compLexity losing earlier today 2-0 in Captain's Draft, I think they're the better team here, and I'm not going to be surprised if they end up taking this in a 2-0 as well.
Yeah, I would agree with you, and I think they are probably the favorites when it comes to betting, when it comes to just odds in general. Both teams have had a pretty interesting road to get here. You look at it, compLexity started out 2-1ing Digital Chaos in the first round, then in the second round they 2-0'd Shazam. Pretty solid team there. For Elite Wolves, it might have been even harder. Archon, they 2-1 them pretty effectively. Then they 2-0 to Infamous, who's the other team in this tournament that is still alive. They're down in the losers bracket, so I think Elite Wolves have played extraordinarily well in this tournament. And one proving team will make it to the grand finals, but will it be them or will it be Infamous once they head down to the lower bracket? We'll wait and see, as we are into the draft already. Purge, Vengeful Spirit, and Lone Druid picked up Elite Wolves, and then compLexity will start with the Darkster and the Witch Doctor. So.
Yo, you know my favorite thing about Captain's Draft is that after you cast Captain's Draft for a day, you come into the regular meta and you're like, oh, I haven't seen these heroes in a while. That's cool. Like, I'm like, oh, Lone Druid, Vengeful Spirit. I'm cool with that. Darkster, Witch Doctor. Wow, I haven't seen those heroes in a while. That's why Captain's Draft is so great. It gives you a little bit of more variety. Vengeful and Druid, though, I'm excited to watch this game, like I said, for obvious reasons, but the two heroes synergize quite well. Damage amp, minus armor, which amps the bear's damage, some stun setup to reliably give you more chances to get entangles in. I like that setup, very solid. Witch Doctor Darkseer is pretty good as well, just to give you a very strong offlane hero. Lone Druid's kind of a counter to that, because his bear can tank up the Ion Shield damage while he last hits, and you can resummon it if things are in danger. You know, one thing I'd love to see, I remember when Lone Druid was strong like 2 or 3 years ago, one of the solutions to a Lone Druid in the safe lane was you would do Darkseer plus a second aggressive melee hero, and the common dual lane then was Darkseer Clockwork, actually, and it worked really good to pressure Lone Druids, because as soon as you get the battery assault on the main hero, man, that guy is just screwed. Darkseer Spearbreakers may be a bit more common lately, maybe something like that would work instead, but man, that Clockwork, there's the ban. But the Clockwork Darkseer dual lane, man, I remember even times at like TI, that was a huge deal. I think maybe TI 3, I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I think you're right. Also, we haven't, for compLexity, we'll see if they decide to go for the dual lane. Just Darkseer plus another here in general is pretty strong. Batrider, we've seen Darkseer really work well with from time to time. You give him the Ion Shell, you give him Firefly, and all of a sudden that is a dead hero if he has no escapability. And so we'll see if they really want to put pressure on the Lone Druid. We also don't know where the Lone Druid's going to go. There's a lot of heroes, a lot of players on this team that could play this hero. Van could play it mid theoretically. Ewo's played it a lot safe lane, and Smash can play it at the off lane if they so choose. So we'll wait and see what position he's going to be played in. More than likely in the one position, as compLexity has their next pick coming up. Excuse me.
Well, all the standard teamfight stuff is pretty gone for Elite Wolves here. The super annoying heroes are pretty gone, Oracle and Enchantress. Bounty is picked up, which will give them some good roam potential. I'm a little surprised it's compLexity drafting that hero, not Elite Wolves. Seems like typically a lot of the South American teams, they love Bounty Hunter.
Yeah. Specifically, Infamous has played it a lot. Elite Wolves have played it from time to time as well. But yeah, compLexity, I don't really ever see them pick this hero. Or not that much anyways. Like, when I think of Z-Freak and when I think of Hanskin, I don't think of Bounty. I think of, like, every other hero other than Bounty Hunter. Like, I've seen them play a lot of stuff, so I don't know.
I mostly agree, but I see Z-Freak very often in a roaming style. I could definitely see him playing Bounty Hunter in this game.
Sure. Okay, that's fair. I mean, we'll wait and see. Beastmaster is going to be picked up for Elite Wolves, which is one of Smash's favorite heroes, unsurprisingly. He plays this very well. They seem to be getting all of the heroes they want right now. I mean, Beastmaster getting out in the third pick is pretty damn good, but compLexity, they seem more afraid of the Batrider and Oracle, so they banned that up first. I think this is kind of interesting. They didn't ban the Beastmaster, but they seem to have other priorities they want to deal with here.
Well, for what reason do you think Beastmaster would have been better in the first round? Or
Well,
is it just like an E-Wolf staple? Or
it is. If they can get it like in a game, they often will draft it in almost every situation. It's because Smash just has a great Beastmaster, and that's the reason why I thought it would be banned. So,
well, yeah, I agree with that. They also do a lot of Romain Morana, and that was banned in the second round. And Chantress is kind of a BS hero in a lot of ways, so she got banned in the second round. But with that said, Elite Wolves do get Beastmaster Vengeful Spirit, and that's one of the scariest DPS combos that can exist because you're amping damage and you're amping attack speed. So put that on top of a Dazzle, and you've got a lot of heroes that are very good at fighting in the early game. They have a ton of damage output, and as long as they can survive through the damage that complexity deals, then they should be able to roll over their opponents.
Yeah, the Midas Armor will come through as well, which is going to be very good for the Bear, for the Beastmaster units. Wave of Terror, Weave, pretty damn solid. So complexity are going to have maybe a little bit of a tough time fighting into that, and they don't really have a hero that's going to get that Assault Cuirass early on, or maybe in general. But they do have the Gyrocopter. They played both games with it in the series against Digital Chaos. They did okay with the Gyrocopter, but it just couldn't quite win them the game. We'll see if it's going to turn things around here for complexity with a lot of reserve time left in the tank.
Well, Elite Wolves is still missing a potential. Well, they already have carry. They have offlaner mid, so they can kind of do just about anything. They can do bench carry as well. So there's a lot of different ways that Elite Wolves could take this draft. So I think it's gonna be a little hard for complexity to predict it. But I think it's safe to say that they're gonna go for a bit of a fighting draft. Not quite sure where they're gonna go though. Anti BKB carry is decent, and initiating hero might be good because Swap or Beastmaster War, they're good against Gyro BKB, but they're not the end-all and be-all way to counter him. Yeah. So maybe a bit more lockdown might be nice. Beastmaster Revenge is already a lot, but want something else on top of that would be good.
Yeah, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I mean, you talked about how they can just pick about just about anything here. I feel like they're going to grab a mid laner. I feel like Smash will play the Beastmaster off lane, and Van needs a hero still. I'm not sure what they would have gone for. Complexity makes the smart choice, bans that Outworld Devourer, which is not a hero that's good, but not as good as I think we first thought it was going to be after the fast start that he had. I feel like a lot of people know that when he gets behind, Outworld Devourer is a very tough hero to play in that instance. So if you can get ahead, it's very good. But
he's better than he used to be at farming from behind. That's very clear. The whole stealing int as you attack people kind of makes up for the lack of items. You basically just buy stat items and attack speed items, and you actually do good damage, and you actually do scale for the int damage. I could definitely see a Nyx Assassin get picked here, maybe. I don't know if that's super ideal. I guess they've got track, but I feel like Nyx is a solid pick here for Elite Wolves. Counters Darkseer with the Mana Drain, counters Invoker with the Mana Drain, can set up kills on these guys. He does have to worry about getting tracked, which is a little bit of a negative, but may allow them some information or some initiation.
I want to think that TA might come out, but I might be wrong about that. TA Wind Ranger are two pretty common options. No Death Prophet available, Invoker's already been picked up. What else has been banned?
That's a good point, because if they did like Nyx Assassin offlane, then they wouldn't have anything mid to go against Invoker. Beastmaster. It doesn't really work there, so they definitely need something that can lane against Invoker in the mid lane with their last pick.
I want to say TA. Okay, it's a Tinker. I saw this once before here in this tournament earlier on during the group stages, I think, and I was completely against it, and it had a terrible start, but then whoever was playing it absolutely decimated once it got past like 20 or 30 minutes or something like that. Maybe I'm misremembering, but that's what I think it was anyways.
I don't know if I would say Tinker is amazing versus Invoker mid, though, is one of the big problems, especially with Bounty Hunter going to be harassing him. It seems a little scary, and imagine mid to late game. If Invoker has Yules and Blink Dagger, he's just going to keep killing Tinker. He'll find where he is, and he's going to Yules and combo him. So I don't know if this is the best Tinker game.
I'm going to agree with you. I don't know if this is really going to be a good Tinker game either. I mean, maybe they know something we don't. Maybe they have an understanding of how to play this game that, or understanding of how to play Tinker that I'm not quite seeing, or you're not quite seeing. And I'm observing judgment right now. I generally do not like watching or seeing this hero because I don't think he's that strong anymore. I think a lot of people feel that way too. But well, there was a DC apparently. We're going to wait a second here. So I mean, you talked about the Tinker, but if it does get late game, they should have an advantage because of that hero, correct? Or at least because of their draft in general.
In some ways, I think one of the nice things about Tinker this game is I can delay the game for a very long time.
Right.
If you're losing, and that should give the Lone Druid time to farm more items. And since he only has to deal with the Gyrocopter, I think it's a okay game to delay it. But with that said, I think the laning stage is still just super important. Tinker versus Invoker is scary. If you get cold snapped, you can't just laser the one guy hitting you. There's gonna be a Forge Spirit as well. So I think Tinker is a really interesting hero, but he's just not the same as he was back when he was Ultra OP.
Yeah, he was very strong for a long period of time, and he's gotten hit by the nerf bat.
The Sunstrike did something. It spotted the TP for Dazzle, so they know that he's TPing the lane right away. That's the first time I've seen a 5-second Sunstrike actually accomplish a piece of information in a really good way.
I wonder if they noticed. I hope they did. I don't know if they'll know where he placed the Observer Ward.
Yeah, this is the rightmost point. Really good Observer Ward placement spot. It is not spotted if you end up putting a Sentry Ward in this common spot in here. It's slightly outside of the range, so they could probably assume that it's on the eastern spot, but see if it gets dewarded.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. Seafric's going to first and foremost head over to the area where Smash is going to set his boar up, and he's going to, I think, try to get a ward here in this camp, which is very good at stopping a Beastmaster from farming. He has dropped it down, and it's a full Observer Ward that he used for it. He wants the sentries here. He might actually deward this as well. Probably doesn't know that it's been placed, but no detection down to the ground for Elite Wolves. We'll see if he can... If he drops a sentry like here, then that Observer Ward is dead.
Did he see it placed though? That's the question.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, and he's been in the river this whole time, so there probably wasn't vision on the high ground there. I do like this Iron Shell invis thing. It's going to be very useful.
They could try to go for this top rune spot. This battle is not going to be won by Elite Wolves, I don't think. Hans can come in with the cask. Van's going to take some damage. The cask will fly through. Can they get the first kill? The Sunstrike will fly. This should be first blood. The Rocket Barrage will do the job, and Limp gets the kill. Great play coming out from compLexity, and they get the rune. Nicely done from that
was a really impressive amount of damage, wasn't it? Like Iron Shell with the Shadow Walk and a little bit of slow, but the Sunstrike came through. Even though it's only 100 pure damage, that's a lot of damage. That's more like a 140 magic damage nuke at level 1. So the fact that they comboed that all and they killed the enemy mid, it's a great start for compLexity.
Oh, he has to walk all the way back home and doesn't have a TP scroll. That's huge. Yeah. It's a full wave just gone by the wayside, and it's the mid gyrocopter. We've seen this so often from Limp and Chessie, who plays the Invoker strictly in the safe lane. I feel like I've seen him play it mid a couple of times, but they really loved running this, and this is going to be devastating for Van once that level of homing missile has been picked up.
Yeah, that's a good point. He can't really fight it very well, and the laser doesn't do anything to stop Gyro's damage because it's all Rocket Barrage anyway, so really cool matchup there for the mid lane.
Now, this is going to be interesting. We'll keep our eyes on that mid lane. Top lane, already 2 boars coming out. Chessie should do just fine in terms of getting last hits, but this will leave down bottom Ewo up against a dual lane, interestingly enough. Swindles versus Z-Freak, but this is a roaming bounty hunter, so we'll see how effective he is early on in this game.
Yeah, he doesn't have to stay here permanently, but again, the whole melee hero that's good at chasing in combination with Iron Shell is going to give them a lot of advantage. He can stay in the lane, do the Iron Shell harass. He can go mid. There's a lot of ways that Z-Freak can play this, and if he has a good roaming game, it's going to do a lot for his team.
He's going to unleash the experience here in the jungle, get a couple of... try to just zone out Mizoku. They're going to get the shockwave thrown at them. They won't actually get hit, but the bear will. Bear's already taken a lot of damage. They might be able to kill this bear, actually, all things considered. Z-Freak's going to go on it. There's the Janata. They've got the Orb of Venom slow. Sumanul is not really in a good position. He was actually trying to get mana up with Clarity. So Z-Freak will take some damages. The Orb of Venom is also on the Spirit Bear, but they could have gone for that kill, maybe. But let's see how mid's doing. Van took a homing missile to the face, and it's level 2, and it was like half of its HP. So I'm curious as to how this will move as we progress through the game.
Well, Jarkopter already has his bottle due to that first blood, so it's a pretty big deal that he's got this already. Ooh, haste rune.
Kill with this?
Probably save this until the bounty hunter, most likely. He could have dived there, but you know he's got 1 in Rocket Barrage. It's actually very low damage at level 1.
He's got Bearski. They have Bearski, one of the Canada Cup couriers. That's cute. I love that. That's my favorite courier.
That one is actually pretty cool. I like it a lot. It looks really good. It's got a hockey stick. It's cool.
Yeah, they took that out at one point. They're like, okay, hockey stick. Nope, can't have it. But oh, Canada Cup, we showed them. The bear gonna die bottom lane, and it will be Z-Freak with the help of Swindle. Actually, Swindle getting the last hit because of the Iron Shell. So that's 300 gold going the way of Swindle, and they have to recreate the bear. You can see how much damage this Iron Shell and, of course, the bounty hunter being down here is doing to this lone druid's farm.
It hurts, man. It's the Darkseer +1, the Solution Lone Druid, and of course they banned Oracle in the first phase, which is mostly a protection against Darkseer due to Fortune's End being able to debuff or purge off the Iron Shells. So it's basically a very smart draft from compLexity to make sure that if the Lone Druid did get picked, it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, they're doing an okay job affecting him and trying to get some last hits, trying to get the bear kill. Mid lane's actually kind of interesting because Limp's taking a lot of damage from March of the Machines. He has obviously a big advantage in last hits, but I think Van can do just fine by getting off his March of the Machines. The jungle obviously can't take the ancient stacks, but what's happening top lane? We haven't seen much going on up here. 13 last hits coming up for Chessie. Beastmaster has 9, so in almost every lane, complexity has a little bit of an advantage, I feel like.
The last hits as a whole are a little bit low in this game, but that's just because there's so many lane contests. So Missile gonna hit ban here. There is the TP support.
Strike. Ooh, good grave.
Great grave.
And good rotation coming out from Mystico, from Dazzle getting in and getting involved, and that's going to be a grave. They give him a salve as well, and Olympus pretty low. He's going to bottle up, but he's only at half health right now. That March of the Machines at level 2 actually did a lot of damage to him, and he couldn't quite chase with Rocket Barrage, and maybe it's a good thing he didn't, because he might have died there. So, really good rotation from the Dazzle. That does get him out of that top lane. He'll rotate back in just a moment. We'll see how that affects him.
Well, the rest of the duel lane is still going well. They're doing a lot of side pulls. The neutrals are almost dead, though. Just waiting on some more Iron Shell mana. Ooh, he might be able to kill the bear.
That bear is low. Got Janata. It's got 288 HP, but they're gonna send it. They're gonna have Ewo go back behind the tower. So they're actually gonna pull. I think. Yeah, this small creep camp. It's interesting because it's not gonna get chain pulled. I don't believe. Yeah, this is gonna push out.
In some ways, that's okay, because it just does give you a little bit more experience and levels in the lane. And if you're against a Darkseer, it doesn't matter if you're pushing much, because he's going to Iron Shell the creep wave anyways. So, it should be fine.
We'll get back into the lane anyways, and so even if it does push, it'll be fine nonetheless. Top lane, Chessie up to 19 last hits now. The Beastmaster's at 14. He's doing a pretty good job, but he's had Hanskin here supporting him. He's actually level 4 for the Witch Doctor's not that bad. Back towards mid, 17 last hits for Van. Olympus sitting on 22, so it's still very close. And again, that Tinker can have his farm get to a pretty good place when he has that March of the Machines. The Rocket Homing Missile will hit up. He's actually going to have to Fairy Fire and regen a little bit. Doesn't want to sit below half health. I can understand that. Pretty slow early game besides that first Blood Purge. There's not much going on right now.
Yeah, but there's a lot of magic damage coming out in Hidden Tinker, that's for sure. Last hits are catching up slightly, about low 20s, mid 20s for most of these heroes.
Right.
In the safe lane, Witch Doctor's level 4 here, Invoker's level 4 versus the 5 and 3 coming out of E-Wolves. And once Smash hits 6, then things get a little bit different. I don't think he can kill the Invoker, but Witch Doctor's definitely a possibility, especially if they initiate before he turns his heal on.
Yeah. Get that roar off all of a sudden. That's going to be tough for Hanskin to deal with. He does have level 2 heal, but again, it's all about getting that on in time. Meanwhile, they'll TP Van back towards mid. Got his bottle now. He's not really close to his soul ring, and Orphan's to travel. It's going to be a while. Top rune spot. Zefrik's going to shadow M-God. Mystico. He's going to get spotted out, and we'll see if they go. They have 3 here up here in the top lane now. We'll see if they go for a kill, but this is going to leave Swindle alone down bottom, so we'll wait and see how that plays.
Yeah, I think I'd like to see maybe the Venge rotate to the top lane and go for a kill when the Beastmaster hits 6. I think that's the best thing they can do. Because they're close to getting a kill with Roar and Dazzle. If they throw a Venge up here and do some minus armor in addition to the Shadow Wave, you're talking a lot of damage.
Yeah, that is going to be a decent amount of damage. But it might actually be Mystico that gets caught out. He might have to Grave TP here. Sunstrike will fly. It'll just barely catch and destroy him. He was right on the edge there. But the Sunstrike pretty much vaporizes him from the face of the earth. And he'll be dead for another 8 seconds. So nice kill there. And again, getting that Invoker involved. Very, very important. Chessie doesn't pick up the kill, but he should have been in range for the assist gold.
Average win rate 53% overall. So Chessie's win rate is a lot higher than the average Invoker. So pretty cool to see.
Bottom lane, Swiddle gonna get rooted up after the match. Missile. The Surge is not going to help him. The bear might die. Barely lives with 26 HP, but Evo's gonna have to recall later.
Oh, good one, Mott. Barely lived.
Oh my god, that's not even intentional.
I do that all the time too when I'm casting Lone Druid. But maybe I just say barely too much.
See, it would have been fine if nobody drew attention to it.
Yep.
Now I'm...
Somebody was going to, I just beat him to the punch. That's all.
That was, yeah, the only other person gassing with me. The Radiant Courier will fall as Z-Freak will pick up the Courier kill, which is huge. I think it was bring something out to Van. That was the bottle. Van's bottle's now dead. Down bottom lane, they're going to go on Swindle again. Root, not there, but they get the magic missile off in time. He's going to stick up. He might actually live here. With the table fly, he'll barely survive. And the bear is going to fall again. Oh, God, I did. You're right. There's the call down coming in. Mystico in trouble. He's going to have to pop up his grave. He doesn't have a TP, so he will inevitably fall. Meanwhile, on the other side, Ewo going to get Janata up. They've got the Orb of Venom slow. Can they get 2 kills here? Cass is back up in 2 seconds. Ewo trying to outrun all this damage. He should go down here momentarily. I mean, they have to actually... Maybe they can't kill him. He's very tanky in true form. They sure can toss it. He's level 3. Yeah, he's dead. Alright, Hansky gets lost it.
Shrek and Toss is a great nuke, up to 375 damage for 4 skill points is pretty efficient there. Takes a lot of doing, but a little bit of abuse of Shadow Walk. You can hit as you're going invis, and you get that bonus damage twice then as you initiate and you break it. So gives them enough damage, they get a kill. And that puts Bounty Hunter at 6 at 8.5 minutes. Z-Freak's been doing great on the roaming bounty.
Yeah, they have some good net worth going the way of compLexity. They have the Gyrocopter up at top. Only behind him is Evo. And then you look at Chessie and Swindle, they're doing very well for themselves as well. And Chessie's up to 2,000 gold thereabouts, so we'll see what he decides to go for, interestingly enough. Saving that money, not going for that Midas just yet. At least not the Midas recipe, well, but...
He's got it in a moment here. He'll buy it surely, very shortly. A little bit of a smoke ready. Witch Doctor's holding it. They can definitely set up a gank. They're both 6.
If they smoke right now, the Hawk. Gonna give them some pretty good vision. Wow, it actually gives them great vision. Look at this. That's pretty damn solid.
They saw him approach. They saw the smoke. It should mean that they probably won't fall for that trap later.
Yeah, I don't think so. We'll wait and see. They're running at Mystico currently. There's a Sentry Ward here actually, so Z-Freak needs to be careful. They've got Roar, they're gonna use it. Shadow Wave's about to fly as well. The cast will go through, and there's gonna be the cast bounce. The Sunstrike going in. It will barely miss. The Death Ward going out. The Grave comes out in time. Mystico will probably fall here. Magic Missile, it's onto the Port Spirit. They don't want to fight into Masoku, interestingly enough. They could have gotten that kill had they stayed, but they backed away immediately, not knowing who was behind them. If it was just Masoku or if everyone was going to rotate up towards that top lane. And inevitably, they just lose the Bounty Hunter. They could have gotten the kill or 2, but compLexity missed out on it.
It's really nicely done by Smash to immediately dodge as soon as the stun hit him because he anticipated the Sunstrike. So due to that, they ended up getting out of that without any deaths and a nice little advantage for E-Wolves.
Now, that's a pretty big kill. Obviously, it's just a Bounty Hunter, but putting pressure on that top lane, they might not be done yet. Maximus will fly through. There's the Axes, and Chessie's dead. Sunstrike almost hit Smash. It would have brought him down probably with the tower hits going his way as well, but that is a pretty easy dive that they commit, and they find a pretty huge kill as well. But the cooldown's going to fly. Smash is going to be in trouble, and he's able to TP out just in time with about 20 HP. Masoku might not be so lucky, but he's sitting here in the tree line. They look like they don't see him at all. They actually have no vision of him whatsoever, but down bottom, Deathward's going to fly through. They get the kill. That'll be under the Bounty Hunter, but Swindles is able to pop that wall down and take down Ewo in that bottom lane.
That's a huge solo kill there by Swindles. That's kind of a kill that really shouldn't happen in a lot of ways. Oh, there was 2. Oh, Bounty was there. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So, nice little juke there by Masoku. He's actually in a great position to gank as well. If they get 2 or 3 heroes rotated top, he can come from behind and stun. But that's one of the nice things about Venture. Damage output in the early game is so high. Just Magic Missile, reliable nuke, fairly low cooldown of about 10 seconds. And then Wave of Terror and right-click damage. She's just a really strong hero in the early game.
Yeah, the Wave of Terror right-click is one of the most effective ways to be able to bring somebody down. Meanwhile, compLexity will smoke up. Not sure if it was on top of a ward. It looks like it wasn't.
Oh, wow.
Are walking through the jungle.
They double smoked.
Passing in the night. Also,
the Venge smoked where she was in the upper by the tier 1 tower, and these guys smoked as well from the tier 1 tower.
That's a pretty impressive display. Do they have detection is the question. The answer to that question is no, they don't. But Z-Freak will TP away anyways. They're pincering in on Ewo. There's going to be the homing missile, but this is going to be a fight. They might not want to take the call down, or rather the Sunstrike will fly. The cast still bouncing up, and Ewo will pop the Savage Roar. Swap out. Grave up as well. They'll keep him alive. Ewo's still in trouble. Limp's going to back away. The Roar will come through, however. Ewo, last right click, will go down. Limp will trade his life away for it. They get the root off on Hanskin. He's slowed up as well. The Boar doing some work. The cast flying through. Now the Death Ward M-God will fall. The Shadow Wave not healing him up in time. It's a 2-for-2. Track continues to go. They definitely blast, pushing up and Smash. They don't have those heals with the Shadow Wave anymore, but they've got vision here. Sentry's on deck. Now Swindle running in. He doesn't have his wall. He's got mech, by the way, but the March of Machines is destroying them in terms of damage, and Elite Wolves will come out feeling at least a little okay about that trade.
There's just no way they can run into March of the Machines. It does so much damage at this stage, 40 damage a hit. So they have to back. Overall, very good fight for E-Wolves. They did lose their lone Druid, but they got 2 heroes out of it, and one of which was the Gyrocopter.
Yeah, it was pretty great. They're going to try to defend this tower top lane. They've got the glyph, and here we go. Z-Freak, Limp, they're going to come in. They're looking for a cooldown. It's on cooldown for another second, but they weren't quite in range. Great homing missiles coming through as well, or rather the...
Whoa, Masoku's... Okay, he doesn't get it.
He is in a lot of trouble. The Shuriken toss. They actually don't bring him down. The Sunstrike will grab the kill, though, or not. He's sitting at 19 HP. He's so low. The track will give them vision to call down. It'll be just on the edge. They won't hit up. They're throwing so many spells and they can't quite get this kill, but the Rocket Barrage will do so. And Limp will pick that track kill up for himself. So they deny the tower. They get the kill as well. And they're probably going to start pushing this tier 1 tower on top of the Purge.
I think that was a big mistake from Bench to try to trade her life for the tower, because she had a lot of kills. She was 4-0. She gave a dominating streak away from that. If you're like super underfarmed, like if Dazzle did that and didn't get it and died, I'd be like, okay, I see what he's going for. But Bench doing that, absolutely not worth it. And I also don't really like that he doesn't have a single point Venusaur. The damage amp that you get out of a single point is worth it. The extra levels, the extra damage you get out of an extra Wave of Terror is not worth it. It only increases the armor by 1 and the pure damage by 20. I think it's much better to go at least 1 level of Venusaur and then go all in on your Wave of Terror if you really want to.
I agree with that. Chelsea, while that was all happening, besides throwing up the Sunstrike or 2, he's currently sitting on Hand of Midas. Avoid Stone with the inevitable pickup of the Yules. Down bottom, Soku was looking for Swindle. Maybe try to get a swap off and do a Magic Missile. That was not the case, but walking behind Z-Freak, maybe looking for a pincer. They need a couple more heroes here, as there's 3 for Elite Wolves, as Van could be in a fight at any moment now with Boots of Travel picked up, so.
I'm really surprised that he happened to back at that moment. It worked out really nicely for him, though. No death happens. They also went Midas on the Spirit Bear, or on the Lone Druid, that is. And the other cool thing about Lone Druid plus Tinker is that you can TP into wherever the bear is. So the bear can just be scouting with Radiance, can burn somebody down. Tinker can TP and get a kill.
Oh, Evo has been scouted out by Z-Freak. They're going to go here in just a second. Swindle's going to try to push this out.
Oh, he revealed, though. Oh, they dusted.
Yeah, dust him up as well, and Z-Freak's about to be dead meat. He goes down to the heat-seeking missile. The Magic Missile will fly and Swindle. They're going to swap him back as well. He's in trouble. He has no mana for the mech. He's got stick charges, however. Rocket Barrage vacuum back in. Look at that damage coming out. Swindle's very low. He's going to have to back away. Meanwhile, Chessie comes in from the backside. Van in trouble. Death Ward. He's still in trouble. They don't have vision, though. Now they finally chase him down. He's going to try to tip you away, but they get the cold snap up. They'll find themselves with a kill. They also picked up Soku when it's all said and done, but meanwhile, Smash takes out the tier 2 tower top lane. It's pushing into the tier 3.
Pretty big mistake there by the bounty hunter. He didn't realize that his invis ran out, and as a result, he didn't get to initiate. He got initiated on, he got killed at the start. Ultimately, his team was able to clean up by wrapping around and guaranteeing the kill on the Tinker, but looked a little bit sloppy there by Evils.
Yeah, they could have gotten more tracks off. They could have gotten more kills out of it. Z-Freak making maybe 1 or 2 mistakes here in the early stages of this game, but they've still got the advantage. They are about to lose their last outer tier 1 tower here, as Elite Wolves will take it down with Ewo pushing it in. A TP will come through. They'll track up Ewo, and we'll see if they can get maybe an initiation. Swindle's there with Vacuum, but they're not going to go for it. It's going to be a Shuriken Toss doing some damage, a lot of it actually. They took the tier 1 tower down bottom while that was all happening. As Chessie, his Midas off cooldown. Oh god, no. No, go Midas something, please. He's going to start at Roche instead, as he now has his full Yules.
Well, now they have to be scared again, especially the Tinker. Tinker is getting some good missiles in. Oh, they're going to stun Z-Freak.
There's the sentry on the deck. Z-Freak in trouble. They need to mech him. They won't go for it. And Swindle will say, listen, you're dead. Now it's a 4 versus 5 engagement. Swindle might have to back away here. There's sentries everywhere. Now this Observer Ward's in range of the sentries. And all of a sudden, the visit advantage is hugely in Elite Wolves' favor. And they might want to try to take Roche here. As compLexity started it, but they're going to finish it.
I mean, this is very hopeful. I mean, yeah, they can spam March of the Machines up here, and they can TP to the Boars or the Bear, but this only works if the Tinker stays alive and he doesn't die and can keep spamming March. If he can keep spamming the March, he's set, and this will work out, but it's going to take a long time to kill.
Yeah, you can see him already backing away. Nash is still in the roast pit. He's invis up. They drop the sentry, so if he walks out, he's going to get scouted. Hanskin can keep healing with that Buddha Restoration, which will do a great job in doing so. But this spam is ridiculous. Van will have to TP back home, and he'll TP back in just a moment, it looks like. Roche being taken down ever so slowly. The tension mounting continuously as now it is a full 5-on-5 engagement. It looks like compLexity. Are they just going to give this up?
I mean, his bear might even die in here.
And it is going to go down. Wave of Terror will fly through. This is going to be their Roche. March of the Machines is able to cover them successfully. And compLexity do not want to fight into this.
They did a great job taking the Roche. It was very safe play. They spam March in the appropriate areas. They kept the wards up. They kept somebody on high ground as well, so that they could see the enemy heroes sitting on the enemy high ground and shoot them with magic missiles. So, oh, there's a swap.
Uh-oh, swap comes in. They're going to have to force the fight. This Mules will come out. Swindle in trouble. Can't get the mech off in time, or can he? He'll go down. He was stunned up for too long. The cast will fly through. The Death Ward comes out. They have Grave. They'll pop it off in the end. The call down will fly through as well. Smash might be in trouble. There's going to be the cast bouncing in as well. The homing missile will fly through, and Smash is actually getting covered again. Because, of course, that March of the Machines is too tough to fight into.
It is really hard. Vengeful Spirits almost got mech now as well. She was kept alive due to the Dazzle. Really nicely done there. Although they're missing a lot of... Oh, man.
Oh, my. Soku's thinking his lucky stars right now.
So, time for Elite Wolves to go heal. But they're clearly outplaying compLexity just a little bit here. They're getting the initiations. They've got very good gank potential. Lone Druid's got his relic now. He's got about 3,800 gold. So things get a little scarier here for complexity. It's going to be a Radiance fighting into that, and you're going to have to deal with March of the Machines. That just doesn't sound very fun. It's going to really limit complexity's ability to take fights when they want to, because they always have to deal with the Radiance burn and the March of the Machines.
And, you know, Elite Wolves might not have had the best early game, but once they got a foothold, they started getting those items, they started getting the heroes levels, and all of a sudden now they have an advantage. It's almost 1,000 in favor of complexity at this point, as they have top 3 net worth now. And Smash has gotten room to work and get to his net worth 3. So they not only have really good pushing potential with him, and of course, not only that, with the Lone Druid as well, but they have action coming up from the Necro 3. They have the mech, as you mentioned. And the biggest thing I feel like for Elite Wolves is they always get away with having a dazzle somehow. Like, they always play it super well, and teams just decide not to ban it. And in so many instances, not to say that Dazzle's won them this game or he's winning them this game. He's just doing a great job, and I feel like it could be a little bit better for Complexity to have they banned it out.
Radiant's middle tower
yeah, maybe, but there's still other heroes that might have been better to ban, so I don't really blame them for that. It's not like Dazzle's KDA has been amazing, but he has been pretty crucial in saving a few deaths. And having Grave versus Bounty is another really nice thing, just because it's not only saving your hero, but it's saving them a track kill.
And now Van is up to a point where, as a Tinker, this game gets very frustrating, or as a hero playing against a Tinker, the game gets very frustrating to play up against. Deep will pop up the track, trying to find Masoku. The homing missile will fly through. It'll hit up into Ewo. It almost goes down, but now the Shuriken Toss will fly in and actually do a lot of damage to Ewo. They'll have to pop the neck because of it. I don't know, man. Like, Complexity are not really in that good of a spot. I feel like they have a Gyrocopter and an Invoker are farming pretty well, but it's like Lone Druid, I think, is farming more effectively now when he's going to have this ratings here pretty soon. Yeah,
and it's not going to limit, like, the fact that both Tinker and Lone Druid are ahead of them in farm means it's really scary for them. And it's part of the issue with this Gyrocopter build. You max out your homing missile, and it's very good for harassing your opponents and doing damage, but having flat cannon levels does a little bit more overall. Yeah, that's true. Only got 1 point now, and he's about to hit to level 12, which will help him. After getting through that level 11, that's the most annoying part of leveling up, is it takes forever to get to that level 11 to level 12 mark. He's gonna have a Mantis. Oh, they found Smash.
Oh god, the Rogue will come out, the cast will fly through, the Sunstrike will miss, swap out. Can they bring him down? They get off the call down. They'll pop the dust as well. Z-Freak's about to fall, and Van comes in and just pops up the missile and takes him down. They'll throw out another one as well, which will do some damage to Limp. And this is, they can't fight for some reason into this. They just can't do any damage. Meanwhile, Maximus will fly. There's the vacuum onto Masoku. Swiddle chasing him down. Track will come in, and Van's all of a sudden back in. The Shadow Wave will fly through. They've got Guardian Greaves back before they get the Grave off again. And Chess is about to fall. Van will grab the kill. Swiddle will get Magic Missile. They'll get 2. On the other side, Ewo still has that Aegis. He wants Limp, and he's about to find it. The Heat-Seeking Missile won't hit on him, but Z-Freak getting run down by the Necro Warrior. The last right click, 3 dead. They bought back on a Z-Freak, so it's 4. They're going to lose a 5th with Limp. He'll go down as the last right click will come through from Evo and M-God and still Mystico. And now this game is getting so damn difficult for Complexity. Yeah. Elite Wolves had just run over Complexity in the last team fight.
And Evo had to really work for that kill there. He chased the Gyrocopter for so long, never really got a root, had to use his Aegis, and eventually was able to get him after dying and losing his Aegis. So it was pretty worth it there, but it's kind of the same thing. Evolves runs down their opponents. Even when the Beastmaster is completely out of position, he's able to get away with survivability, and the Dazzler keeps him alive, and then Tinker shows up and starts spamming missiles. It's so hard for Complexity to fight if they don't initiate. And it's hard for them to do that. They don't have an initiation tool anymore. Their setup in the early game was Witch Doctor Cask, and that's just not enough.
Uh-oh, Swindle gets roared up. Look at the Dagon coming out, the Heat-Seeking Missile as well. The combo from Van is more than enough to obliterate him off the face of the earth. And he's got buyback now, but they might have to force it here. So they're maybe thinking about going high ground for Elite Wolves. They'll TP Van back to get more mana, and they'll have March cover this push next time he comes in. Call down will fly. He's trying to push this back a little bit, but here comes Van, TPing back in. Swap out, now Limp's in trouble. He is destroyed! He's got no buyback, and that damage coming from Van is ridiculous. Z-Freak gets rooted up as well, and Van continue to go to work with the Heat-Seeking Missiles. This tier 3 tower, they've got Cliff. Sunstrike will fly, Deafening Blast will miss. It'll only hit onto the Necro Warrior. And now this Rex, it's exposed. Van will TP in onto the Spirit Bear. He'll blink back, or blink forward, actually. Just destroys the Witch Doctor with the help of his Dagon, as well as Heat-Seeking Missile and Laser. He might go for Chessie as well. They just can't stand up to this Tinker right now. They've already taken a set of racks. This might be game. They're going to jump in. Chessie's about to go down. Has to Ghost Walk. They'll pop up the wall. Now there's going to be another jump in from Van with a blink forward. Dagon is up, and Complexity are getting slaughtered like cattle. They just can't deal with this damage coming out from Elite Wolves right now. And suddenly it is now like a 10,000 net worth advantage. This went from 0 to 100 almost instantly, Purge.
It really did, and it all came down to pretty much that Aegis fight. They were able to take the Roche. The Roche allowed them to take the next fight, and then all of a sudden the game just ends. Because now they accelerate through 2 little engagements, they get a Dagon on their Tinker, and their opponents that don't have BKB can't even get close to standing up for this damage. Because every time Tinker does a combo on somebody, you're talking like at least 800 magic damage, and then 320 pure from the laser. Like, how do you stop that damage output? And there's a bear just slapping at you the whole time, and if you get rooted, you're just screwed. And they have to worry about Beastmaster Aurora and the Venge swap stun. The disables were just amazing on Elite Wolves, and they kept the game going for long enough that the Radiance kicked in and the Tinker kicked in, and there was nothing compLexity could do to take the fight.
That is going to put Elite Wolves 1 game closer to getting to the Grand Finals and securing themselves at least $12,000, which is a very pretty penny going for them if they can take this victory. compLexity now down 0-1, have to find a way to get back into the series in this next game. We'll see if that's going to be a possibility. We'll talk more about game number 1 as we get into the post-game report here in just a moment. My name is Mont. With me today is Purge, Lurker, Derp, and Pit Muckle. We'll be back with Dota 2 post-game report in just a moment. Stick around, guys.